am.ctv.ca. Now, a look at dealing with hair loss.
That's why I get so upset when other people make jokes about you losing your hair.
Other people are making fun of my hair?
Not me. And just remember, Brian, when people point a finger and laugh at you, 3 fingers are pointing back at them, laughing at you.
Who's pointing and laughing?
Brent thought losing his hair got a lot of laughs on Corner Gas, but hair loss isn't so funny for the Canadian men and women who go through it. Baldness affects 20% of men in their 20s and 70% of men in their 70s. There are lots of myths surrounding hair loss, but there are also lots of solutions. Joining me now is hair loss specialist Dr. Robert Jones. Those are the stats for men. The stats for women also surprised me.
Yeah, almost 50% of females by the age of 50 are experiencing some hair loss. So it's definitely a big problem for males and females. I think the statistics are about over 100 million males and females by the time they hit, or at any one time, are losing their hair.
Tell me about, I mean, for men, it's something that, you know, they anticipate might happen, probably will happen, but also, but the stigma is still there with men, and even more so with women.
Well, yeah, definitely the stigma, hair loss is associated with illness and aging, and people generally speaking, you know, they don't want to get older, they don't want to lose their hair. Now, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, hair loss or treatment of hair loss, and 99% of the treatments out there don't work amazingly.
So, okay, so, and this, you've got personal experience as well, because it happened to you.
Yeah,
and I think we've got a photograph of you before, and of course now you've got full head of hair.
Yeah, as you can see, it's very difficult to, it would be almost impossible to tell that
you can't tell.
You can't, no.
So done properly, hair replacement works.
Well, there's really just 3 things on the market that work for hair loss. There's a pill that you can take, Propecia, which is available through your physician, as well as a lotion that you can rub in your scalp, minoxidil or Rogaine. There's a 2% Rogaine available over the counter, as well as a stronger solution through your doctor. And then the third thing, obviously, is a transplant. And what we do with a transplant is move hair from the back of your head and just plant on the top of your head. The way it's done in 2009 is hair by hair. There's been huge changes in hair transplantation over the last 20 years.
And these are a couple of the instruments that you would use.
Yeah, I mean, basically, what we do is just take the hair from the back of the head, and we make the sites with almost like a needle-like device.
Can you see that? Yeah, it's tiny. There's the needle, and then the tweezers.
Yeah, and we can just plant the hairs into those tiny sites with the jeweler's forceps. So, as you can see, it's a very sort of fine process, and you can replace. And the hair transplant, once it's done, is permanent, because the hair on the back of the head is good for life. And once we move it to the top of the head, it's not affected by the hormones that will cause
those follicles
male
are there.
baldness. Yeah.
So being permanent, when does it start to grow?
Well, usually after a transplant, the hair will shed and start to grow at about 10 to 12 weeks. It takes about a year to get the full results of a hair transplant.
And does it hurt?
No, we use local anesthetic. You're wide awake for the whole procedure, and you know, we can fill up. We can do 3,000 or 4,000 grafts, or 8,000 or 9,000 hairs in a day, and you're very comfortable. You can jump in the car and drive home after. It's like a long dentist's appointment. Easy to perform and very tedious, but...
Knowing that we lose hair as we age anyway, just normal process of aging, is there a certain sign that you know that this is more than just normal hair loss?
Well, I see a lot of young guys who are very concerned with hair loss, and usually what I do is recommend, I mean, if they're very young and they're just concerned they're not using their hair, or they're not losing their hair yet, I usually recommend that they there's a genetics test that you can do now to detect, to see if hair loss is in your future. And it definitely, for a young person that's considering going on medication, it does make sense to have that genetics test done.
Okay, Dr. Jones, fascinating. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Beverly.
Up next, Dressed for Success. We will have some tips on how to buy a great business suit.
Hey, Scott, Tim Hortons